You're listening to L-Town Radio, The Legend. This is Matt Burton with the local news break. We have in the studio a mother of a 3-year-old girl that is actually from Lincoln County who actually survived a tree attack during the latest storm that we had here. It's looking like it was a microburst / possible tornado that happened to actually August the 8th. And around 6 o'clock, around 5:45, 6 o'clock when it happened there. So we have Miss Nicole Jones in the studio. Nicole, welcome.
Thank you.
Nicole, tell us a little bit what kind of happened there.
I was traveling down Philadelphia Church, coming from Dallas, heading towards Lincolnton. It was about 5:30, 5:45. It wasn't raining. I could see it in the sky that there was going to be a storm. And within a 5-minute time frame of me going down that road, the rain just came out of nowhere. And it was really hard to see the road. The yellow lines just completely disappeared. The sky went white, and it started hailing really bad. A tree fell right in front of me. I was going about 45 miles per hour. There was absolutely no way I could stop my car because the rain was so heavy.
You couldn't even really see in front of your face then.
No, I couldn't, but I do know that I saw the tree. It had just landed right as I was going.
Right.
There was just absolutely no way you could have stopped in that situation, or I would have wrecked my car.
Right.
If I would have tried to avoid it.
Now, did the tree actually fall on your car?
I was lucky. It didn't fall completely on top of my car.
Right.
My car collided with the fall of the tree because I couldn't stop. So my car ran right underneath it.
That was just pure timing of how you just kind of, skid through there.
Yes.
Of the time. What was your thought, especially being a mother, having a 3-year-old little girl in the back seat? What was your thought during all of this?
It definitely wasn't my first wreck that I've ever had. It was definitely a different type of scare just because the weather interfered with my hysterical feelings. It was bad. It was a feeling I've never felt before. I literally couldn't see anything around me. I saw a tree and hail, and I didn't know even where I was.
Right.
And that's really scary because I knew, to be in your hometown and to know, like, where you're at all times and to not know where you landed or what's around you or if there's going to be someone to come and help you or anything like that. It was definitely terrifying. My daughter wasn't as scared as I was, but I don't think that...
That's funny how that is sometimes the children, they don't get, but I was going to ask, how did she react during all this?
She told me, back up, Mommy. She did. She wasn't scared, and she's really the only reason why I think I didn't completely lose it in that situation, and I held it together until someone came and got us out.
How long did it take you to get out of the car?
My door was pinned by some tree limbs. I couldn't get out of the passenger side either, so I had to take Kinley out of her car seat and go through the back because the back was the only exit out. And there were a lot of people that came and surrounded my car, banging on my windows, asking me if we were okay. In that moment when that happened, I literally couldn't say anything.
Right.
I was just terrified.
How long did the weather last? That the sounds and the sights that you were seeing of you could really you drove right through it.
I did. I drove right underneath it. It was,
and from the weather reports, it showed you were right.
Mm-hmm.
Right there in that stretch of the path of it. So
right.
What did it look like?
It didn't last long. It had to have touched down. I must have either drove through it or I was driving out of it. But it was maybe a 5-minute thing.
Right.
And it was, even though 5 minutes isn't a long time, it's scary enough to know that the entire sky was just white all around you with the rain coming down and then hail hitting your car, and then I hit a tree. All of it was just scary.
Yeah. Well, I know that last night whenever we got the report, as soon as we got it from the National Weather Service, we aired it, the report. But also, we were trying to get it out as fast as we can. That was the fastest event that we've ever seen. We got the report, and bam, it was done.
I definitely wouldn't have been driving if I would have known anything about it.
Right.
A lot of people were telling me that they didn't even see it coming because it wasn't on the news or anything. I just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I went out last night to see the area of what happened. And the sites, power lines were down. As far as we were driving, it was just power lines down. Power poles, twisted around in the direction that they're not supposed to be. Trees and just everywhere were down all over the place.
When we wrecked, it took the fire department and ambulances literally over an hour to get to me. And they weren't even a mile down the road.
Right.
Because there were trees down on roads near me. There were live power lines. It was impossible. All you could see while I was waiting on the paramedics to come was people literally come and they turn around and they go back down the road and then they come back up, and everybody was just stranded and stuck. There was absolutely no way to get around it.
Well, I know that US 321 was shut down all night last night because of power lines on the interstate, trees in the interstate.
Yes.
And last night was very scary for Lincoln County here.
Yes, definitely. I'm pretty sure 321 was shut down this morning, too.
Yeah, because it was shut down until at least 8 o'clock from the report last night. I'm not sure exactly what time it did reopen. Definitely are in favor with the big man upstairs, it seems.
Yes, God was definitely there. Honestly, I can't give any thanks to anybody but God, because I've been in a situation where I flipped my car 6 times and landed in front of the doors of a church.
Right.
And me and Kinley were in the car, and we survived that. And I think Jeeps are just not the car to choose at this point, because I've had 3, and every Jeep I've had, I've wrecked. Okay. But this situation was definitely not as bad as it could have been.
Right.
I think that the tree being on top of my car saved us from something completely more horrific. I'm not really sure what it would have looked like if I didn't have tree limbs covering my windshield and my windows. I just know that it was completely scary with what I did see and what I was witnessing.
Well, Nicole, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story of what you went through and what you saw, and we thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.